Okay, now that we're done with overview videos, concept videos, we're going to have a topic per video. For this one, we're talking about signals. It's the first and probably the most important building block of composing an algo with Octopi Trader. We're going to talk about those and a couple of other auxiliary things that you probably don't want to miss to get started. Let's go. Let's take a break before watching the rest of the video and talk about what we are not going to cover. And that is anything to do with Sierra chart interface itself. If you need help getting started with Sierra chart, how to find your market, set up chart books the way that you want them to look, feel, and operate, I'm going to refer you to Sierra chart's own channel. There's a guy with much longer hair and much better video content. So check him out and get familiar with Sierra chart. Once you're done, come back to us. What we do is we teach you how to use Octopi Trader to automate your strategy. Not using the Excel spreadsheet system that Sierra chart has, not using any custom coding capabilities that Sierra chart has, using the no-code solution that we've created for you guys. So if that all makes sense, let's proceed. Here's the layout we're starting with for this demo. We have the same market, two different time frames. The first window is what we're going to be primarily using for trading. Second window we're going to be using for referencing. You can use a third window of either the same market on different time frame or different market if that's how you make your decisions based on. So long as it's all in the same chart book, we can reference it all and work with it. The important critical piece is that in the very first chart of the chart book, we go ahead and add under studies our Octopi trading system, which once you're a subscriber, you can find under add custom studies right above user contributed studies. So add this guy in, click OK, and you're going to hit export config. From there on, we are going to dive into the interface. In this video, what I'll do for sake of efficiency is I'll skip making new configuration and we're going to dive into something that I've already created so you can look at some examples. And then we'll readdress the front, the very front, the operations in one of the later tutorials when we combine everything together and apply it to the chart and actually run some simulations. Now with that, let's go create a sample signal. So we're going to click new. We'll give it a name. And let's talk about the layout of this window a little bit. Everything on the left are items that we can reference. Applied Studies pulls everything from Sierra chart itself. This is what we get by clicking that export config button. So if you notice, you have the chart 1, which is a 60-minute chart, and the chart 2, which is the daily chart, and the relative studies that were applied to these charts with their subgraphs. So these are now referenceable. And then there's standard things like bar values, so we can reference bars by index. Index is used. 0 is current index, -1 is 1 bar in the past, so previous bar, -2 is the bar prior to that, and so forth. So we can just reference them and grab their open, high, low, close values. We can also reference bars by time, so if you want to sample a bar from, let's say, 8:30 a.m. and make a decision based on its close, you can do that. Other items here are trade history, order components, and some helper variables, which we will cover in a different video. But for now, let's go and declare a prior bar values closed. How we do that is we just select all these components and we hit add. So now this is a referenceable value that we will be able to use for creating our condition. And let's go back to applied studies. So over here, just for this demo, we'll make a very simple moving average crossover, which will consist of obviously a fast moving average and a slow moving average. So let's declare those. I'm interested in it from 1 bar in the past. So prior bar, moving average, fast, and we'll call it FMA for short. Click add. So now we have that referenceable. And we have slow moving average. Now, by the way, you can just double click it and you will end up with the same value referenceable as well. This was just selected with the current bar, but you'll see right here, it's study ID 3, slow moving average, subgraph is G1. Now, how you double check that is you go to studies and see our chart. You see that it's a study ID 3 right here. And under subgraphs, it is subgraph as G1. It's the only one for this function or for this study. So this is how the whole thing works. And this is how you can double check it. But we don't want to use this particular one. We want to declare it one bar back, and we want to call it slow moving average, SMA. Not simple moving average, but a slow moving average, SMA. All right, so now we have the three things that we need to make a determination about moving average crossover. How to make a condition? Well, we just double click. What's a moving average crossover? It's a slow moving average. You see that it populated right here, which is the next section of our interface, the middle. This is the condition builder. So SMA, what do we do with it? Well, we're going to compare it, and we're going to use these operators on the right. And it's in this case greater than, actually, see, we got to go back. Fast moving average is greater than slow moving average. So this is our first condition. We go ahead and click that. No coding was necessary to create this. Now, you could code. This is a completely freestyle window. So if you want to declare your variables up here by double clicking and then use your own code because you know how to, or you want to write a simple script inside of this signal, you can. This is, we don't restrict anything that you do, but we do make it simple. So this is both simple and extensible in terms of functionality, because essentially you can write anything in C++, and so long as it's a valid expression, which you can double check, let's say in, what is that guy? ChatGPT. Yeah, that's the new cool thing. So if that, for instance, could validate your expression, so long as you have the variables declared, all of this will be read and compiled and be able to be used. But back to what we were doing. So we compared fast moving average and slow moving average. If that's enough, we go ahead and click this guy. This will validate that expression, and in programming language, return true when this condition is true. But it's not the only thing that we need. We would also like to compare our prior bar close. This is chart 1, same chart, prior bar. So we'll double click on that. And we'll say if that guy is also greater than the fast moving average. So we just want to make sure the bar closed above the fast moving average before we declare this condition as valid. So again, we click add condition. Now we have two things. Both of these have to be valid in order for the whole statement to be valid. And if we didn't do this before, we'll just click insert trigger, and there you have it. It's that simple. You could make it more complex if you know how to do scripting in C++, or just basic if condition creation is what this is. If you want to keep it simple, this is the way. Click OK and you're done. So in future videos, I will show you the rest of what we can do with this and how to apply it and what to do with making it an entry, exit, or modification signal. I was about to close this out, and then I realized in Octopi Trader, we have a very similar interface to signals, and it's called custom studies. They're equally useful. One returns a confirmation of a condition, and the other one returns a value. So in this case, custom studies return values, and we can use those values throughout our program and throughout your logic for orders, for strategies, various things I will show you in consecutive videos. For now, before we walk too far away from the specific interface style, I'm going to show you how to do a custom study. So let's look at that. I often use them for ATR-based targets, average true range. That is a study that is off of CR chart. There's other uses. What I'll show you though for this demo is an ATR return. We have, don't mind the pivot points that I've added in between. We have an ATR value. For the sake of consistency, let's go and declare it to previous value. So we have ATR, and then all you have to do to return a value of ATR from previous bar is double click this guy and say use expression. And that's it. You can also get pretty fancy. I've pre-created demo too, I'll show it to you briefly, and I will do another video separately on how to employ robots to write conditions for you. So demo 2 looks like this. The difference is instead of single expression, we've clicked this button, which is advanced. Show you that. Single will blink everything out, but the button is advanced mode. So once we click advanced mode, we can now use logic and operators that are standard to C++. We can compare variables so long as, again, they're declared up here. So all of this will have to be double clicked and declared. R1, R2, S1, S2, and EP, because these are the variables that we're working with here. And then we can employ code that is written by the robots to trade. I'll show you that in a separate video. So for now, you can just click OK, and you have a very fancy condition that will return a pivot point that is below your current price. I hope this helps. These are custom studies, signals used in slightly different ways, but together give you the ability to create just about anything you want in your custom algorithm. Hope this helps.